Today I just wanted to speak to you a little bit about this morning's breaking news. We are on the day of the Brentford game, and Paul Joyce has just released an article around about our midfielder issues and if we're going to be pursuing one this transfer window. Now, I just wanted to have a little look at Klopp's comments here. This was from last night's embargoed press conference. He spoke about the issues of everyone screaming for a midfielder. We signed GAKPO. And then it's constantly, well, who's next? Who's next? As you can read here, Klopp says, I don't want to disappoint anybody and their dreams, but we sign an outstanding player like GAKPO, and the next thing you read is, who's next? It's like we didn't have a team. Now, if we remind ourselves of the end of the summer window, when Jurgen Klopp himself came out and said, I admit it, I'm wrong, you're all right, we need a midfielder, we've made major issues, this is on the last day of the transfer window, and we sign Arthur Melo on loan. Arthur Melo since then has completed a grand total of 14 minutes for Liverpool Football Club, and now in a different window, just 6 months on, at the very start of it, we've got our manager changing his tune again, saying no, we don't need a midfielder. Why is there an issue? We don't have any money. This, that. Why are you not bothered about us signing GAKPO after just putting out a terrible display against Leicester? And then he has the nerve to get arsey at us when we can see the glaring issues and we want to bring them up. So what we're going to do this morning is we're going to have a look at the breaking news on Twitter surrounding his article, and we're going to have a look at a few little rumours, see what's popping about. So we've got Twitter loaded, so let's have a little look this morning's news. So starting with Amrabat, that's just regurgitated rumours in the Liverpool Echo. So the games will not get less, we will have more games. It's clear you need quality in all positions, probably two teams of the same level so you can rotate, and that's why we try. Now, I found this one quite interesting this morning. Someone made a really good point of, well, next couple of years we're going to have this Club World Cup that's completely revamped. We're going to have the Champions League, which is going to have more games. Klopp actually alluded to it in his press conference that we're going to be looking at needing 2 squads. I think it's really interesting that he's mentioned that about GAKPO is a signing for now, but also for the future of needing more squad depth. Which, if that is the case, though, then why is it we're not signing a midfielder? Blue Chip LFC .eth. Someone who does regular videos with Grizz Khan over at the Carnage Show has just put a simple tweet out of Calm with John W. Emery strumming away on his guitar. Whether that means something or not, we'll have to wait and see. Liverpool have offered €70 million for Moises Caicedo, according to radio. I can't pronounce that, but they start at 8:30 a.m. I believe that is a Ecuadorian source. The 4th Ecuadorian source so far to tweet out that Liverpool have bid or are going to bid for Moises Caicedo. I think we'll leave them ones for now. I'm not buying any of that. So another comment here from Klopp, what we've just alluded to before. We won't splash the cash, I trust my players. So why has it gone from we need a midfielder to signing somebody on loan who's played 14 minutes who was supposed to fix that to now being, oh no, I trust my players. The same players that are constantly getting injured, the same players that are putting in 5, 6, 7 out of 10 performances at best. I don't get where the trust comes from personally. And this is possibly one of Klopp's negatives. People say blind faith is one of his big issues. Could it be biting us in the arse? Info from Paul Joyce. An added complication to signing players is that Liverpool's transfer strategy is built on self-sustaining model, but there's only a few candidates that can be sold this winter. I actually said that in a previous video, and I'll link it at the end. Sell to buy works really well when you're a small club and you've got assets to sell. A Southampton, for example, in the past. We no longer have anything to sell. We don't have players to sell. The best we've probably got is Nat Phillips and Joe Gomez, where you're looking at maybe £15 million for Nat and £20 to £25 million for Joe. But you do that and then we're absolutely short at centre-back. So we don't actually have an asset to sell, but we've got glaring issues. So there has to be a point of where you dip into your own pocket or you use money from elsewhere and you go and fix those issues. And then come the summer, then we can reevaluate, then we can sell. We've also got players leaving on a free that's going to completely change the wage structure. I don't get how that self-sustaining model is still alive now. It just, it kills me. It just shouldn't be alive. I don't know how it still works. Well, Jurgen Klopp's a miracle worker and we're starting to digress, so it's clearly not working. But there needs to be investment. It just feels like there needs to be investment if there's going to be any kind of signings. They have no intentions of changing their strategy. Liverpool face having to wait until the summer to sign Jude Bellingham, who will cost around 130 million, whilst also trying to see off intense competition from Real Madrid and Manchester City. Now, many believe that the money that we've not spent in the past couple of windows has been quietly putting in a pot for when Jude Bellingham transfer becomes a possibility. Now, £130 million, that is a lot. That is a lot of money. That is money that Liverpool have never spent before. That's even £50 million more than what we put down on Darwin Núñez, who's our record transfer. So how can we listen in the same window that we're going to be getting Jude Bellingham in the summer for 130 million, but we've also got no money to spend? I'm not being funny, Reds, but for me, this sounds like a glossing. This sounds like a fake talk. It sounds like a let's make everything seem dandy and rosy, when in reality it's not. And we've put a little bit of pressure on the manager in the last couple of press conferences about signing a midfielder, and the cracking point comes and it's we don't have any money. So if we don't have any money and we need to sell to buy, then how the hell are we affording £130 million for Jude Bellingham in 6 months' time? Regardless of how much money we've saved up, if we have saved that money up, why aren't we then dropping that money on a midfielder now to make sure that we secure Champions League football? For me personally, I don't know about you, and maybe let me know in the comments, but I would much prefer a midfielder now and the risk of losing out on Jude Bellingham than wait for Jude Bellingham in the summer and risk on missing out on Champions League football. Nah. It needs to be a midfielder now. And there it is. Liverpool have reportedly set aside £86 million to sign Jude Bellingham, but that might not be enough to satisfy Dortmund and beat off competition. Now, obviously, that £86 million that's set aside would also have whatever earnings you get from this season. So Champions League, if you won the FA Cup, if you finish well in the Premier League, if you sell some players in this window or the summer. So it's not just £86 million now to go and get Jude Bellingham. But that means there's £86 million set aside right now for a midfielder. So you have to weigh it up. Is it worth risk missing out on Champions League football and potentially getting Jude Bellingham? Or is it worth dipping into that now and signing a midfielder and even potentially going on to finish top 3 in the Premier League, get far in the Champions League, recoup some more prize money, and hopefully have investment come summer 2023. Fabrizio Romano on the Court Offside podcast. The expectation is that Liverpool will be preparing to sign 2 new midfielders in the January and summer transfer window. So you'd imagine, again, that'd be Jude Bellingham in the summer and one this window. The noise coming out of Liverpool doesn't say that. Now, I get it. If you're going to be signing a footballer, you don't want the whole world to know that you're desperate for a midfielder. But it's very rare that you see Liverpool put out a certain narrative in the media and then it just changed like that. You see a lot of people who are like, stay calm. Of course, Jurgen Klopp knows we need a midfielder, and I get that. But he's been speaking so openly about transfers up until the GAKPO signing, and now all of a sudden the tune's gone back to, oh no, we need to make money. I don't know, guys. I think the narrative is now that we're not going to be signing in January, and I am firmly believing that. A midfielder, that is. Chelsea have not given up on signing Jude Bellingham in the summer. There is a feeling at the club that Liverpool would be in pole position to sign him instead. 110%, we're definitely in pole position. You saw his relationship with Henderson and Trent. You hear the talk coming out from his father, who's a big Liverpool fan. There's no doubt in my mind that we are front of that queue for Jude Bellingham. My issues are we going to go down that queue if this season goes wayward? And are we actually going to have enough money to even be at the front of that queue and then be like, yeah, there you go, there's the money? It's like me going at the front of the queue in Waitrose with my Tesco card. It just ain't happening. Liverpool Echo say Brighton will not entertain any bids for Moises Caicedo or Alex McAllister this month. I'm pretty sure they would if it was a decent amount. Liverpool Echo chatting out their ass. James Pearce says, there are not many players who are surplus to requirements that Liverpool could sell for decent fees in January, which would be required for the club's self-sustaining business model, where funds from sales are invested back into the squad. Well, of course, yeah, there's no one to sell. You only got the likes of Ox and Naby, but they're all free in 6 months' time, so no one's going to drop money on them. So yeah, if there's no one to sell, then use your own money as a business and as business owners. So yeah, that's mainly it, to be honest, guys. Just thought I'd give you my opinion on the news this morning. I don't think we're going to be signing the midfielder in January. The narrative coming out of the club now is firmly Jurgen Klopp's annoyed at people wondering what's next. He said he's happy with his squad. I have no reason to doubt him. I have no reason to doubt the journalists that are saying we're not going to be signing anybody in January transfer window. We don't have anybody to sell to make money on. I don't doubt, I don't doubt their articles. I don't doubt their information that they're getting. Is it a mistake from Liverpool Football Club? Probably. Yeah, it probably is. If you look at that Leicester performance and the glaring issues in midfield, we're going to struggle to get top 4 this season. Now, Brentford today, obviously, it's a massive game. Brentford away, Spurs dropping points, Chelsea dropping points. There is still hope, and I do and I don't believe it's an awkward one. I do believe that we'll get top 4 because of Jurgen Klopp, and I do think eventually we'll be able to turn this form into something more sustainable. But I don't believe, because I felt like that after Aston Villa, and then you watch us against Leicester and you think, Jesus fucking Christ, watching Dewsbury Hall run around the Anfield pitch like that was just, it was sickening. And I can't have that for the rest of this season. I can't have us going away to Wolves and watching Wolves midfield dominate us. Just can't. So, fingers crossed something happens. We'll have to see. Thanks for watching, guys. Please like this video. It gives me loads of support and it really helps. Check out my Twitter. Oh, it's there. Oh, green screen. There we go. Check out my Twitter. I'm always posting on there. And let's hope we get 3 points today. And the news isn't that bad, let's be honest. See you later, Reds.